creating that vessel to allow and encourage embodiment. Use the space. The less I can interrupt the flow, the better. And what emerges with an open-hearted listening, what resounds there for that person to want to rebuild, reform, just validate the way it is, whatever it might be.
Passion for self-discovery. We felt that art and somatic practices are wonderful channels or platforms to further that journey. It grew very organically. There isn't a very strong, clear artistic direction. So it ended up being informed a lot by the artist community. Artists kind of made it their own and sort of made whatever they could out of it.
But yeah, this is something I'm very inspired by, this sense of rhythm being in the bodies of the performers and also something that we share. This is our environment is imbued with rhythm. So how do we connect with these rhythms? How do we participate in them, and how to play with this? Children playing is one of the most rhythmic things there is.
Going to the theater, meet some people, have a drink, go to the place, sit, watch it, smell it, all this, I need it.
People need narratives to foster the sense of community. Community and narratives need a place for performance to affect manifestation. The pandemic has adversely impacted the social dimension of our existence. Can we live without narratives?
In this setting, all of the micro rhythms and gestures and breathing that would normally let us connect with each other is being mediated. This is one of the hardest elements of sort of this interpersonal relationship online, is that we don't share a common time and space to be able to pick up all these little rhythms. This sympathy is something I really miss.
A lot of things which are important for me, I miss online. The body language, you don't see the legs, if somebody is shaking legs or something, and I realize I miss this. And when I watch something, I want to decide what I'm looking on it. If I want, sometimes a person in the back is just standing, and it's, for me, sometimes it's much more interesting than the main character playing like hell, and this guy in the back is just looking, and it's more interesting. And I want to decide. I also want to decide not to look at it. Sometimes I want to decide just close my eyes and listen.
How has the pandemic impacted us and our inhabitation of spaces? How can adaptive reuse and accretive spatial design mediate and mitigate the impact of pandemics? What do individual and solitude, community and congregation, and embodiment and narratives mean now? The course is structured to delve into these questions through studio conversations, historical and contemporary case study analysis, consultations with practitioners, and design deliberations. The first module of the studio, lasting 4 weeks, is dedicated to building the context.
I felt a very deep creative urge to speak and reflect on theatre. I didn't want to write. I was very clear. I want to speak. I want to talk. I want to share. Maybe you could say that because there was no theatre in the public sphere, I felt the need to foreground it. Or I think at a more unconscious level, and I think the unconscious does play a huge role in whatever we do, the virus kind of entered my consciousness and it catalyzed my thinking about theatre. So without thinking too much about it, I began to map a series of reflections which then got represented in the video lecture.
The second module, lasting another 4 weeks, is dedicated to establishing a hypothetical site and developing a program.
How do we create a space where people of all ages and interests can come and can see something together, and it's informal and there are very few barriers there where people could mix before the event and after the event, and even the performers themselves would not sort of be stuck in a VIP area or a green room area. They would be able to come out and engage with the audiences that had come, and in essence a space for groups to interact and to engage with performing arts and to demystify a lot of that.
I'm very happy to go into a rehearsal space, meet a group of actors and tell them, I have no idea what I'm going to do, but let's all see what happens. I feel a rehearsal space is a place where a group of people meet, respond, breathe together, create together. Authorship this way gets distributed.
It may even happen that like the small theatre, they may adopt a very hybrid model where you have 20 people in the room, but you have 500 people online. So suddenly, even for these small places, it's such a value add, right? I'm sure even they want a lot more people to watch their production.
I just wonder, are we at that stage where something has intrinsically shifted? If this is that evolutionary leap where we don't have to leave the way it used to be behind, but it's forcing us to reimagine what is essential about that art form.
The second half of the term is dedicated to designing the place of performance, beginning with a fortnight of concept design, followed by another fortnight of identifying the primary element of design, to the final 3 weeks of detailing the design. The 8th and the 14th weeks are scheduled for on-campus sessions. I have been involved in creative pedagogy since 2011, offering courses incorporating text, graphics, theatre and collage in various design institutions across India, such as CEPT, NID, Indus, IIAD, SPA, TDV, ARVIA and JJ. In practice too, I am always open to the theatrical potential of any space, particularly ones intended for congregation. Interior and exhibition design and adaptive reuse for passive public spaces or programs offer generous opportunities of exploring these dimensions of people and spaces. My association with theatre started 2 decades ago while studying at CEPT as part of the Essay Theatre Group, guided by artist C.K. Murli. We staged 7 productions in 22 months. My undergraduate dissertation in public spaces was guided by dramaturg Dr. Rustam Raja. Hope you find the studio unit as exciting as I do. Looking forward to working with you.
The change that in the way that you see all kinds of things. What is performance? What is a stage? What's an audience? What's that divide between life and art? What's the divide between street performance and regular auditorium performance? I have a feeling all these terms have now they are all up for grabs. We now, I think, can look forward to times where we are shifting. So we are quick change artists. And it's not just the divide between offline and online. No, I think it's pushing us and it's telling us, make both the spaces come together in your imagination.